I'm going to give a speech.
No speech.
Ayaan, thank you so much for your courage and bravery and being voice of the women in Islamic world. You are a real hero, and I am so happy to be here to see you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
My question, as a matter of fact, I'm looking for advice from you for women like me, or for me, as a matter of fact, because I am in a critical situation. I would like to ask you, because this is the point that I'm going to start to do something about my life. You know, some years ago, Sarah Chase, advisor to General McMullen from Carnegie, was here. Mm-hmm. And I, as a public, never get the chance to ask the question, but afterward I could tell her, share with her my idea about what we should have done in, or should do in Afghanistan. And then she encouraged me very strongly to speak out, speak up, and all those things. And I have lived 35 years in fear of Islam and political correctness and all of those things, because I experienced the revival of Islam and what Islam can do and is doing with the societies. But then she encouraged me very much, and she told me one thing. She said that people in this room, it was CSAC and FSI, needs to hear from you. And she said to me that for these people takes 10 years to understand what you are saying. And I don't think that it means my accent. I think that other things. But I have tried to really talk about Islam, but I am coming to a crashing point right now. I feel that I am hitting my head to the wall, because I feel that I am betrayed by the society of intellectuals that were supposed to support me, my new beautiful country of US that should support me. But I feel that everywhere that I go is this political correctness and many other things. Is very easy. Just come to FSI, I can show you what is happening. And right now I am confused.
You've got to get to the question.
Yes, my question is that I speak up against Islam, and I'm thinking that Islam is a imperialistic, violent, pedophile ideology, and we should tell the truth, not going with the lie of the peaceful religion and so on. But I am crashed because people say that don't say, they kill you.
We need a question. We really do. We need a question.
I think she got it.
And then yes, my question is that at the same time, I get silenced down by the professors at FSI and so on, and I am crashing. And I want to ask you honestly, give me advice. What should I do? Should I stop going there and stop?
I will be very short and say, yeah, maybe at this stage, it's better to stop talking about Islam and start talking about freedom. Again, we are here today to talk about how we can use online and cyber and all that. And it's now become technologically possible to connect a lot of people and see the ideas that Afghani women from Afghanistan, and I know a number of them, are attracted to the ideas of freedom and equality and raising their children, especially their sons, to be different and to embrace these ideas. And I think that's where to go. Let's stop talking, or let's talk less about what it is that has driven us out of the ideology of radical Islam, and talk about what has driven us to the principles of freedom.
Gentlemen at the microphone, please keep it brief or others won't have a chance.
First of all, thank you very much for wonderful insights. And you don't read this in the New York Times, unfortunately, these days. Thank you. I was trying to think of a difficult question, and I come up with one. I would like to get two perspectives from HR, from the inside the government, and then from Ayaan, kind of from the outside perspective. And a difficult question is this: so Muslim Brotherhood, it's kind of, reasonably obvious that they drive a lot of this nonviolent, jihad, if you will. Sorry for using the word. But at the same time, we have failed so far to declare them a terrorist organization in the United States. I mean, we're trying. I was just reading the news that we're trying again, but it's not happening. So why is that? Why have we failed to declare Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist organization, even though Saudis did, right? That's my question.
Is the Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist organization? Should we identify it as such?
Okay, I'll go back to Ayaan's point that sometimes we do try too hard to disconnect the dots with these groups because these groups are overlapping and mutually reinforcing. But I think also we have to be cognizant of the fact that not all of these groups are the same, especially within the Muslim Brotherhood, which has different chapters that have different philosophies. Some of them are actually active and useful participants in political processes. If you were, for example, to make a blanket designation against all Muslim Brotherhood organizations and encourage other countries to do that, you just have to recognize that what you're going to do is drive those organizations underground in a way that set conditions for post-Mubarak Egypt. Okay, so I think there has to be a distinction made between those who advocate for violence against innocents and those who advocate to be able to determine, with Sharia law, the nature of the government at the exclusion of other parties. And so I think that's the way to think about it. And so there's not going to be a silver bullet solution to the problem of Islamist groups that want to restrict human freedom. And I don't think a blanket designation of the Muslim Brotherhood does it for you.
Ayaan.
I just want to add one, so I agree with HR. Everything he said is absolutely true, but I think we could go one step further and designate them an adversary. Just like we're confronting China and what China is doing, I think it doesn't hurt to say, hey, Muslim Brotherhood, with all your branches and chapters, we know what you're up to, and here's the answer. And that is, it's not exactly a terrorist organization, but having them come to the White House and having them, come in our institutions of education, institutions of information, I think in that sense, I think that's a mistake.
And I think just quickly, if I just make a point that maybe for the first two questions is, I think a way to think about this is to really make sure that we understand that terrorists are using a perverted interpretation of Islam to justify their criminal acts. And today is Eid al-Fitr. We ought to say, Eid Mubarak to everybody. Who are the greatest victims of these terrorist organizations? It's other Muslims. And so what we have to do is not play into the terrorists' hands who try to, again, do conspiracy theory that it's really the Zionist Crusader conspiracy against them. Really what this is a fight between all civilized people of all religions against those who are perverting Islam.
Well said.